So now that our container is circular, let's start adding different widgets here. These different widgets, right? So let's count. There are total 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 rows. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and each row has 4 columns. Okay, so can you guess what will be the parent widget here? Okay, so let's quickly code in order to understand it a bit more clearly. So for the container, let's give it a child. Okay, make sure that you are doing this outside the box decoration. You can just click on the parenthesis here and then press enter to know that you're outside. And here, what you can do is you can give it a child, and then child, we will use column. Okay, children. So there are, as we saw that there are 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will be building 5 rows. So let's go with row. Okay, this is one row. Now this is another row. Now this is the third row. You can copy paste these also, but I like to type because it improves my typing speed and accuracy. So let's save this. And right now you can see that nothing really is visible here. Okay, so see, we made a widget here, right? Within this status widget. Now let's make another widget. A widget, because all these containers you can see that they are similar, right? And writing them again and again and again will be a hassle, and it will honestly bulk up your code. So we will make one container and give a layout that the color will be same and the color of the text and what text should be written, and then we will use these widgets here. So let's quickly see what I mean by that. First, let's make a widget. Okay, to build a widget, you need to the W should be capital, and let's call it blocks. Okay, and you can just open close these and build this, and it's showing an error because it needs to return a widget, so we will return a container. Okay, now add a semicolon at the end. So now what we want to do is that we want to make a container which looks like this. Okay, and let me get the color of this container. The color code for the background and these cubes is same, so you can copy paste from there only. So let's make a decoration, and in the decoration let's give box decoration, right? Box decoration, and let's add a color, and you can just copy paste the color from here. It's the same color. Copy and paste. Okay, right now you can't see anything because it doesn't have a height and width, and also this block is not being called anywhere. So let's give it a height of, let's give 20 the height and also 20 the width because it's a square, right? And let me call this widget in one of the rows, okay, so that you guys know how we will be using these. So let's make a children and let's call this blocks. And now when I save this, you will see that a small block is appearing here, but this is honestly very small. So let's increase the size. Let's make it 60, not 760, 60. Okay, and go for 60 here as well. And let's save it, and now you can see that the block is a bit larger. So let's go for 65. How about that? I know that this trial and error might get a bit frustrating sometimes, but this is fine. Okay, and we also want to give it a padding, so let's wrap this container with padding. Okay, and let's reduce this by 4. Let me save it, and now you can see that it's padded. But I want to give the padding more on top and less on left and right. So how do I do that? So to do that, let me remove this and write dot only. The padding on top should be at least 10, but on left it should be 8, and on right it should be 8 as well. Okay, let me write right here. It should be 8. Now it's looking much better. Now we also want to curve the square edges, right? Because it will look more modernistic. So to do that, the same way we did here, we will use in the box decoration itself, add a comma and use the border radius property. Okay, we were using this in the color, not in the color, but in the box decoration. There is a property border radius which we used earlier, and give it a border radius, and this time we will use dot all. Earlier we used dot only, now we will use dot all. Okay, let me save first so that it's coming here, and here you can say radius dot circular, and it should be 50. Okay, let's save this file, and now you can see that it turned into a circle, but we want it to look like a square only, but with curve edges. So let's decrease this to 30, and still not much difference, so let's go with 10. Now it's looking fine. Okay, so first add constant keyword here at the beginning of box decoration to avoid the blue lines. Now you can see that it's looking much better. Let me increase it to 15. Okay, now it's looking a bit more modernistic, and let's also increase the size of these. So 75, let's go with 75. Now this is way too big, so let me go with 70. I should have used 70 in the first place. Alright, so now what we can do is, just because we have 1 2 3 4 here, 4 blocks here, what we can do is just simply write block again and again. Okay, and we don't have to write that entire part, just write blocks, comma, blocks. Okay, and let me save this, and you will see that all 4 are appearing. So right now we want them to be in center. Okay, so to do that, let's go with main axis alignment, not main axis alignment dot center, and you can see that they are centered perfectly. All right, let me increase the padding here to 14. You can also increase the size of this calculator. You can experiment on it on your own, and whatever you like, according to your liking, you can change the UI. All right, now what we want to do is we want to display something on this, right? So let's make a child here. For this container, let's make a child. Now make this child outside the box decoration. Press enter, child, and we want to create a text widget because we want to display what number or thing is being displayed up, right? So on text widget, let's do 1 for now, and I will do a style, text style, and here in the text style I will give it colors dot white. Okay, let me save this, and you can see that 1 is appearing but at the top, so we want to show 1 at the center, right? So wrap this text with the center, and now 1 is appearing at the center. Now let's increase the size of this text. So let's make it font size, and let's give it 30. Okay, it's looking much better now. And let's also make it bold, not font family, font weight dot bold. Okay, let's save this, and now we are done. So but right now the value is 1 and we want different values, right? We don't want the same value. So what we can do is use parameters and accept different values each time. So let's add a parameter here of the term string. Okay, and we will write a string, and we will write, let's say let's give it text. Okay, and now you can see that error is coming here because it wants us to give a string. So in the first case I will give 1, in the second I will give 2, in the third I will give 3, and the fourth I will give 4. Okay, no, not dollar but 4. Alright, now in the text widget I gave the value of text, which is basically this text which we are entering from here, right? And add constant keyword here to avoid these blue lines. Now let's save, and you can see that 1 2 3 4 are appearing because I got the value using this parameter 1 2 3 4, and now these values are being used in the text widget. Okay, but first we need to add AC, CC, percentage, and this divide sign. So to do that, what you need to do is, let me copy this block, okay? Because we will anyways be making this. So let's copy this row. And let's replace it with these rows, which we created earlier. Because this is going to be the pattern, right? So let's replace it and let's save and let's see how our app is looking. So you can see that it's looking much better and like a calculator now. So let's see. First is AC, then it's CC, percentage and divide. Okay. So let's give AC here. Then it's CC. Then it's percentage. So let's see where the percentage is on my keyboard, and let's finally give it divide. So by default, that divide sign, this divide sign, it comes under icon, and I'm using this sign right now. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's save. 4 is in the third row. 5, 6. Okay. Then in the fourth row, we can say 7, 8, 9. And in the final row, there is the 0 point and this slash again. The divide, we already used this, but you can use a black slash. Honestly, we won't be using these buttons, so you can use a backslash, and you can then give here. Now backslash is an operation in Flutter which helps you go to the next line, so you cannot use backslash. You can just use, so you can use colons instead. And then there is 0, after which there is point. And on the right side there are equals to, plus, minus and multiply. So let's get those also. So this is equals to, then this is minus, then here there is plus, and here is multiply. Okay, let's save this and let's see how our app is looking. So it's looking like a calculator. Now you can see that here these 3 are green in color and these 5 are red in color. So to do that, what we can do is, basically right now we gave it a hard-coded value of colors.white. We can also accept a value of color as a parameter and give it the name color. Okay, but we want to make it optional because white is for most of them and green and red are for only some of them. So what we can do is add a question mark here, and this basically tells it that it can be null, and make it in square brackets, which will tell Flutter that it's an optional parameter, so it's not really required. But then you ask that if I write color here, okay, and you have to remove this constant keyword because whenever you use variable, you cannot use the constant keyword. And when I press save, what color will it appear? So by default, it will give us the black color, but we want the white color, right? So what we can do is we can use this statement in Flutter where we can enter double question mark and do colors dot white. This basically tells us that if the color value is null, if nothing is entered, you can see that I haven't entered a color. So if the color value by default is null, it will automatically assign it a color white. So now the white color is assigned. Okay, so let's give these 3 green color and all these red color. Okay, so let me enter comma and colors. Okay, colors dot red, and let's just copy. Okay, this was green. The first row is green. So let's just copy this. Let's paste it here with a comma. Okay, let's do comma and paste. Let's do comma and paste. And for, okay, no, also divide is red, right? So let's go red here, and let's now copy this colors dot red and add this here. Okay, now let's save a file, and you will see that green and red are appearing, and this is looking really beautiful. Okay, you can also increase the size, as I already told you, increase the size of these containers and change and tweak the design a bit more according to your liking. Now this was the basic UI. In the next video, we will see how to actually input the logic, right? And how to make these containers clickable.